welcome to Above Replacement Radio. I am your host, Chris Gianta. You know what Christy Mathewson wasn't worried about? SIERA. When you're thinking about Pedro Siriaco, I mean, the only one that can compete is maybe Hannes Wagner's 1908 season. Over there on the other side of the screen is Daniel Curran.
Like, if we just clip together every time we've talked about him on other people's profiles, we've done a Mickey Cochran episode.
I can't get past Rabbit Marinville. It's not necessarily Hall of Fame. It's not necessarily above average, but we can guarantee you we are better than just the standard replacement level college sophomore.
And welcome to Above Replacement Radio. We're talking baseball, kind of whenever. I'm your host, Chris Gianta. Over there across from me, as you cannot see on YouTube, unfortunately, is Daniel Curran. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, I'm doing well this week. We had a bit of an off week, only one show, but we were pretty busy over the last week, so it's justified, I promise.
Yes, for sure. You'll probably know a little bit more in depth of what exactly we were doing.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we want to get into it or not, but I think we could save it.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like maybe just out of context, we can just say we presented at Sabre.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
that works.
Maybe not we won't talk about what we talked about. It wasn't anything, not a crazy revolutionary new stat, but we talked about a revolutionary guy.
We did. Revolutionary man for sure.
Yes, a revolutionary man.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. So
we presented at Sabre, Society for American Baseball Research, a local chapter, not like a national. But yeah. That happened. 100% did.
Yeah, for the ironically enough, the Rabbit Marinville chapter of Society for American Baseball Research in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Who could have seen it coming?
Who could have seen it? Not me. Not me.
Not me.
Not me. Not at all. But we did it. And I don't know, maybe there's a couple people listening who attended the conference.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening in, and thank you for attending and, appreciating our presentation. It did go a little bit long. But yeah, we really appreciated the attentiveness that everyone provided and the positive feedback. So thanks to all of you. But anyway, we have some current events to get into.
Yes, we do.
There was some controversies in the world of baseball. They can't escape the Mets, even when they're doing well.
Yeah. I mean, the Mets always have to stay in the news some way. They have the best record. Do they have the best record in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it's over, 667, because I think they have more wins than...
They have the best record in baseball. 700 winning percentage, 14-6 record.
Yeah.
The Mets are rolling.
Yeah, they're rolling. A lot of their... apparently, a lot of their pitches are hitting people.
But they're also getting hit.
They're also getting hit. It's quite an interesting thing. Chris Bassett had a comment about the baseballs, how they're always different. I think I haven't delved too deep into it.
I can tell you something right now.
What is it?
Do you want to guess the league-wide home run to fly ball ratio right now?
I would guess it is. So the average last year was probably, between 13 and 15%.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I'll say 8.5%.
It's at 9.7%.
9.7%.
Yeah, a little. Your guess was a little low, but
it was pretty low.
Still,
yeah.
it's a substantial decrease.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's ever been below 10% since. It definitely has never been below 11% since 2015. I'm trying to find the numbers since the start of the 21st century. I'll try since 2002 because I think that's as far as the data goes back. But anyway, the Mets. Chris Bassett had those comments. The Mets are getting hit by a lot of pitches, and they're also hitting a lot of pitchers, or a lot of hitters with their pitches as well.
It makes me curious as to what the home run to fly ball ratio was through April 28th last year because, there is, I guess, some argument that there can be an argument that, like, there's shout out to WB Mason once again making an appearance. There is some argument, I guess, to potentially the fact that, it's colder, it's especially like in the Northeast or
with no sticky stuff.
General North, it's gonna, the balls aren't gonna travel as far as they will in a.
So here's the thing, though. So the Mets. Okay, so the Mets have 19 hit by pitches, obviously leads the league. Second is the Padres, a team that does not play in cold weather. I'm trying to think. They just went to Cincinnati. Where have they been on the road this year? Like, I don't think it's been anywhere cold unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the home runs. The
home runs. Yeah, sure.
Home run to fly ball. Is it on the dashboard or
it's in the
batted
splits.
ball?
It's in the splits leaderboard.
It'll be batted ball data.
Yeah.
Home run to fly ball ratio. Yeah, from at the beginning of the year last year through April 28th, it was 13.4%. So obviously it's not the weather.
There's something different this year. Yeah.
Something different about the baseballs. Just in a just being a casual observer, you can kind of notice it as well. Just there's some baseballs that look like they're barreled up and they're staying in the park. It's interesting because I feel like they talked. There was more media publicization.
Yeah. Last year
about DJ's baseballs last year, but I mean now it's like way more this year. It feels like
the effects are definitely coming in a lot more because like last year we also learned at the end of the season that the MLB was using 2 different baseballs.
Yeah.
For certain games.
Yeah, for sure. Like it was that was very interesting. It felt very fraudulent of Major League Baseball to do. And yeah, it I think it's pretty obvious to say it's a non-controversial thing to say is you should have in Major League Baseball you should have a universal baseball.
Yeah, obviously, of course. I mean, especially imagine being a starting pitcher that's like on a mid-market level team that might be playing in a high-profile game and might be playing in a low-profile game the next day. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't know. What would be a good team to exemplify there?
Like Josh Hader.
Yeah, like the Brewers, right?
They got a Sunday night baseball game against the Cardinals, but then the next day they're going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Like obviously one of those is a higher profile game than the other. And the Brewers are kind of a good team where it's like it could kind of mix in and out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's frustrating, it's not any, it's most frustrating to the players.
Yeah.
Obviously.
If it's any sort of consolation, strikeouts are also down this year. Not by a lot. They're at their lowest point since 2018.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not like it's, outrageously low, but
yeah. It's
yeah.
It's been interesting. I did see there's a thing. There wasn't.
However, the league OPS is 672.
Yeah, there was an article on The Athletic. I wish I could get to it, but my account's been messed up.
My account has been messed up as well. I don't know what's been going on
for
there.
a while. I'm gonna unsubscribe and resubscribe soon. But it preluded to the fact that the baseballs are like pre-tacked now, or something like that.
So for sticky stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like there should be a universal ball.
Yeah, there should be a universal ball, and
yeah.
I guess they're just figuring things out as they go along. I'm sure the general lockout just it contributed to whatever downfall this is because if you think about it, like they probably could have been able to tinker with some things during the lockout, but literally like I think all the offices were just closed down for 3 months.
Yep.
And they couldn't play with a major league literal baseball and figure these things out. So it's possible that it's all being tinkered out now in April in regular season baseball. Also spring training was not as not as long as it usually is.
Yep.
Very interesting.
I mean, I'd say as far as the sticky stuff goes, like I don't think there are any hitters that are like anti like pitches using foreign substances. Like the only example you could maybe point out is Josh Donaldson, but I'd say he was more like anti guys breaking the rules.
Yeah, well, like there's also a difference in guys like being anti sunscreen and rosin, and guys being anti
spider tack,
scientifically, like spider tack boiled in
yeah,
bomb residue, like I don't know, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a difference in something that's going to rise your RPMs by 100 versus 500.
Right.
And yeah, like I think all batters are okay with a little something, but not anything that's scientifically just an anomaly. But yeah, so the question of baseballs and sticky stuff continues. We were a little tired of talking about it last year, but it continues. And yeah, it's just a matter of consistency with the league.
It is.
And yeah, we haven't seen that yet. So anyway, I guess what else should we get into?
Do we want to go more in depth about the Mets?
Oh yeah, they're hit by pitches. I mean, they did get into I don't know if you could call it a brawl yesterday. Is a aggressive meeting.
Yeah, it wasn't even yesterday, but
I
know what you're talking about, but I wouldn't. Brawl is very, very rare in baseball.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of just, it's the kind of classic like, oh, guys get out of the bullpen and off the bench and they kind of just stand in a big circle and yell.
Yeah.
And that's not a brawl.
Yeah, brawl is like, I think Jim Rice going into the crowd and punching Yankees fans. I think that happened
true?
once.
Really? There was a baseball malice at the Palace?
Jim Rice fans.
Why does that not get brought up in the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry ever? Like that's way crazier than like Jason Varitek versus A-Rod, or even like Pedro versus Don Zimmer.
Recalling that this is a Reddit post, but it has video to it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, why is the screen dark now? Recalling the time Jim Rice went into the stands at Yankee Stadium after a fan stole his cap. I don't think maybe he didn't punch anybody, but I mean, maybe it wasn't violent, but he did go into the stands at one point.
Wow.
But yeah, a brawl, brawls can be like 0-4 Red Sox Yankees, with Tanyan Sturts bleeding out of his ear.
I mean, a brawl is like 2016 Rougned Odor versus Jose Batista.
Yes,
like that's the most modern. That's the best modern example. It's not the only one, but
yeah, for sure.
I mean,
for sure. Even like the 2018 Red Sox Yankees, that didn't really feel. That wasn't.
No.
There was like a couple missed punches,
but like the most iconic one has to be Rougned Odor. Like that was the cleanest hit. Like everyone saw it. It was in HD.
Yes.
Like
slow
there's that perfect slug. Yeah, everyone knows that slow mo of him landing the perfect right hook.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that was something.
Yes.
That was something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a brawl. This was merely an aggressive meeting on the mound between two separate teams. And yeah, it seems like I should look more into the hit by pitch rates, I guess. I don't know. So you said the Mets led the league in hit by pitches?
With 19.
Thrown?
Their pitching is actually fine with it. They've only hit like 7 batters, I think, but their batters have gotten hit 19 times.
Yeah. So
Pete Alonso's been hit in the face like twice.
Yeah.
Which is like that's insane that like if it happens twice in a season, it's crazy. Period. But it happened, twice within April.
Right. And yeah, maybe some of it was like some type of retaliation at one point. Like I think in the Phillies series there was a thing, But yeah, if the Mets have only hit 7 guys, then yeah, it can't be too much retaliation. There's only been 7 opportunities,
Yeah.
and there's been the Mets have been hit 17 times. Yeah, it can be. It's odd. It's like, weird stories like this. I mean, the first team you would think about is the Mets. It's like,
Yeah.
if an unusual thing happens. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
I don't either.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how much else there is to talk about that. I would like to talk about arguably the hottest team in the National League. That is a different NL East team. It is the Miami Marlins. Yes. The
Miami
Marlins. They are since. Hang on, let me find the exact date. Since April 14th, they have been, or they've gone from. Baseball references being slow. They went from being they were 1-4 to start the season, and since April 14th they went from 1-4 to 10-8.
So
so
they've
9
won
and
9.
4.
They've won 9 of their last 13.
Yeah, 9 of the last 13.
Yeah, Pablo Lopez has been incredible.
Yes.
Just yeah, I mean .39 ERA, 1.61 FIP. Although I guess once he allows a home run, that FIP is going to change because it's not like he has crazy strikeout numbers. Nonetheless, doing an amazing job. And Sandy Alcantara doing an amazing job as well, 1.78 ERA with a 3.30 FIP. And the pitching staff in general, bullpen and starters have been doing just incredibly well overall. Their team ERA plus is their team ERA plus is 1.28. What did you have to take away from this team?
The thing I take away from this team is what you're getting from the pitching staff. It's been a talking point for years now that this is the rotation of the future. The bullpen has been pretty good. Oddly enough, this season they have a negative F4, but they have a 2.82 ERA.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So they're getting the job done, even if it's not in the prettiest way. But the offense, that's the X factor. I hate saying X factor because literally anything can be an X factor. But if the offense goes, this team is going, and that's what's been happening. People might forget that Jazz Chisholm actually had a less than average weighted runs created plus last year. But he's got off to a hot start this year. 308, 364, 615 for his slash line. 180 weighted runs created plus. He's only played in 11 games, but he has a .8 F4 already. Very good. New addition Joey Wendell, he's been awesome. 286 average, 348, 452 for a 139 weighted runs created plus. John Birdie, who's kind of come out of nowhere. Only 7 games played, but in those 7 games, 308, 526, 615. That's a 230 weighted runs created plus. Only .4 F4 in 7 games. That's pretty awesome. Brian Anderson, Garrett Cooper, Jesus Aguilar, Brian De La Cruz. These are all guys that have been popping off this year. The team has one of the best walk rates in baseball. I think that's something that's greatly improved over the last year. When the offense goes, this is what the team is capable of. It's just, I don't know how sustainable it is over 162, but it's happening right now, and it's worth talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jazz Chisholm also, he's in the 91st percentile in barrel rate with a 15.8% barrel rate.
Mm-hmm.
I think are his strikeouts decreasing? Maybe not as much as I was thinking earlier, but he's hitting the ball hard and hitting it in a solid direction as well. And yeah, I'm actually looking for the team walk rates and where that ranks currently.
Since April 14th when this streak started, it's 11%, which would be 4th in the majors, 2nd in the National League.
Yeah, and overall they're 6th in the majors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, not something you expect from an offense that doesn't pop off on just doesn't pop off name wise, doesn't even on a normal basis doesn't pop off stat wise.
This is an offense that could, this might sound weird, but this is an offense that could benefit a little bit from the deadened balls. Like, they have a stadium that doesn't play favorable to power hitters. Their team overall doesn't have a lot of power. There are more contact and guys that can, shoot the gaps. That could be something where, they have to put more of a focus into it, and it leads to better results.
Yeah, and if your pitching staff, their pitching staff is obviously going to benefit from the deadened baseballs, and it's not going to hurt them as much. So it's overall it's a benefit for teams that aren't as power heavy, the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, this is, because of some other teams in the division, this was kind of a team that was written off and said, I feel like a lot of people's mindset of the Marlins coming into this year was like, we'll see you in 2023.
Yeah.
But Jesus Luzardo has been a big one. I don't even think you mentioned him, but he had a great first start of the season. His breakout, he's had an uptick in velocity this year. So he seems to be for real.
Yeah,
he's still like 22 years old, by the way, isn't he?
He's 24.
24. Still, he's still really young for how long he's been in the majors.
He's extremely young. Yeah. He's a 1.32 FIP this year with no home runs allowed. So it'll probably spike up once he gives up a home run, but still 14.4 strikeouts per 9.
Yeah.
Is pretty extraordinary for Mr. Luzardo.
Not bad for a guy they gave up a rental for, straight up.
Yeah.
I feel it's weird because Starling Marte played out of his mind in Oakland, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, their positioning
you could argue
worse.
That trade was bad for the A's, but not because of the return they got.
Yeah.
It was bad because of how the rest of the team performed and for the people they gave up.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
But yeah, shout out to the Miami Marlins. We see you.
Yeah, we see you out there. The Mets have been streaking for a little bit, but they're not the only team in the National League East.
I feel like we could probably just go over a couple other teams that are doing well or not doing well that you may not know about. The Twins have won 7 straight.
And also the Angels they're always interesting to me.
Yes.
I feel like they always start off a little, well, maybe not in 2020, but I feel like they've always started out a little better than they end up being.
But this year it seems more encouraging.
I
don't think they were this good to start last year. 13-7, 1.5 game lead in the AL West. The Astros are only 10-9.
Yeah.
The A's are 10-9, by the way.
Well, this oh, that's funny.
The Rangers are 6-13.
But the idea of are the Angels real or not? It was inspired from Jeff Passan had a tweet a couple days ago. Every once in a while, he'll kind of have some sort of take, and sometimes
he said that Jeremy Pena was better than Carlos Correa 4 days early, or 2 days early. Sorry.
Yeah, shout out to you for having that
prediction.
That prediction, it worked out very perfectly.
I mean, all that has to happen now is Jeremy Pena has to come back down to earth and Correa has to become Correa again, and then we can safely say that it worked. Because if it stays like this, then it's no, actually, Jeremy Pena is better than Carlos Correa.
Yeah. So Jeff Passan tweeted on exactly at 12 a.m. on April 28th. So basically the night of April 27th, he said, "The Taylor Ward breakout is happening, and with Mike Trout being Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani heating up, Brandon Marsh looking like a guy, and Anthony Rendon still with that pure swing, the Angels have a chance to be a real problem."
It's because everyone wants to see it.
Yeah, exactly. They will go as far as their bullpen takes them. It's interesting. It's funny to describe it as the Taylor Ward breakout, which is
he's 28.
It also implies that he was supposed to break out at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he was ever ranked as a prospect.
Yeah, I looked. I had to look at his Baseball Reference to go to his minor league stats, which they always show where you were ranked before you came up.
Never was ranked.
No. And he has a 1271 OPS right now. I'd be surprised if it's over 800 by the season's end. However, I don't know, Mike Trout, if he's healthy the whole year, That's a potential thing. He's a guy where if his OPS stayed above 1,200, I wouldn't be shocked.
No. Nope.
And then, Brandon Marsh, I can hop aboard the Brandon Marsh bandwagon. I kind of did before the season started.
I feel like the only thing they're really missing is Shohei Ohtani's offense.
Yeah, they're missing Ohtani's offense. He's at a 691 OPS currently. But also, there's some overperformance on the pitching side of things. Like Patrick Sandoval has a flat 0 ERA. Hasn't allowed an earned run in 15 innings. But also, peripherally looks good with 12 strikeouts per 9, 1.60 FIP. Noah Syndergaard's been looking very good, 2.12 ERA, 2.83 FIP. However, his strikeout numbers he only has 5.8 strikeouts per 9, which is weird. I feel like that's gonna fix itself. I don't know.
I mean, like I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't putting up like his Mets numbers, like 2016-17.
Mm-hmm.
But like 5 is not what I was thinking.
Yeah, 5.8. Interesting. Shohei Ohtani peripherally looks great with a 2.08 FIP, 4.19 ERA, and his I think he's made some adjustments pitching wise. He's using his slider more. His slider looked very good in that 12 strikeout game.
Yep.
It was actually a weird thing where I couldn't sleep in the middle of the night, so I watched his 12 strikeout performance against the Astros.
I was at Fenway during that game, and there was nothing better to do because the game was bad. So I was like, Shohei is 2 for 3 with 12 strikeouts.
And yeah, so like, and what did Passan say? He said that the team will go as far as the bullpen takes them. I would argue also as far as their starting rotation takes them, and as far as the lineup outside of Trout and Ohtani takes them. Even Jared Walsh, like he ended the year a bit porous last year
because he's miserable against lefties. Like he's like people look at him as one of like a valid cleanup bat. That's fine, but like they got to platoon him.
Right.
Like if you look at his stats against lefties, like they have no choice but to platoon him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have to look at his splits from I'll go back to 2021 for those splits.
But I mean, I think it's a much stronger argument to say that the team is more reliant on their starting pitching than their bullpen, because I think their bullpen is a safer bet. I mean, like Aaron Loop was a great addition that they made last year. So was Ryan Tepera, Archie Bradley, to go along with the reacquisition of Raisel Iglesias.
Exactly.
Like I think their bullpen is a safer bet.
Yeah, for sure. Jared Walsh last year against lefties had a 565 OPS.
Yes.
Versus a 994 against righties. But yeah, like, yeah, it was an interesting hot take out of the gates from Passan. I think like you said, everyone wants the Angels to do better than they do, but I can't buy in right now.
You gotta I think I had him finishing 3rd in the division, and I was like, it's the Angels. We gotta wait and see.
Exactly.
Like, I understand that like you're gonna get social media attention because everyone's gonna be like, this is it, like Trout and Ohtani, the playoffs, like it's happening.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I want it to happen just as much as anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's such a long season. We're like 15% of the way through it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to keep waiting. Like I can't say it's real, but it's a good start.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the start you want, because I mean, like as much as everyone will harp on the Angels' early successes, they would be doing the same thing if the team was 7-13, like the opposite way.
Yeah.
Where it's like if they were 7-13 right now, Jeff Passan would be saying like, well, it's another failed season, and we won't be seeing Trout and Ohtani in the playoffs again.
Yeah. It is interesting.
Like, they are under so much pressure every single year and like it makes sense because they have 2 generational talents. Like, of course they should make the playoffs. Like, we're not, like there's reason for them to be under that pressure. But they're going to be a storyline no matter how they are in April every single year.
Yeah, for sure. Like, as long as they have those 2 in town, it's going to be.
I mean, it was like that before they had Ohtani. Like in 2017, it was like, well, the Angels can't get Mike Trout to the playoffs again. How embarrassing.
Right.
To be fair, he got hurt that year, but that was just the last year before Ohtani came in.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out for the Los Angeles Angels. Who else? Any other teams we should talk about?
The Twins starting rotation is like it felt like they kind of just built that out of a bunch of like the Twins bullpen feels like the island of misfit toys.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Like guys who it's like Dylan Bundy who had a miserable year in Anaheim last year, Sonny Gray who just needed to get out of Cincinnati,
Chris Paddock.
Chris Paddock, yeah, who
Chris Paddock is the ultimate misfit toy.
yes,
Like comes from San Diego, gets put in
is
Minnesota.
the opening day starter after his rookie year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's it. It's a good point with this Twins rotation. Headlining the rotation is this year's opening day starter, Joe Ryan.
Yep.
Who, yeah, he's been very good. 9.8 strikeouts per nine, 2.3 walks per nine, 2.93 FIP, and a 1.17 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
Really been shutting down the competition. And yeah, like the walk rates for Chris Paddock and Dylan Bundy so far have just been microscopic. Both under 1 walk per nine. Well, both have only allowed 1 walk.
By the way, have you seen Dylan Bundy's like velocity?
No, I haven't.
It's down.
It's way down.
It's down. He can't hit 90 anymore. It's wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy to see.
But it's working.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
I think he's transformed into a sinker baller now. I don't know how long he's been doing that off the top of my head.
It's crazy to see such a big guy like Bundy be
Mm-hmm.
a crafty righty. Like, I understand how it could happen, but just visually,
It's very like I have to remind myself that he was a top prospect like 10 years ago.
yeah,
Like if you asked me when Dylan Bundy made his major league debut, I'd been like 2015.
yeah,
Like
right.
that was it. Yeah. No, it was like 2012.
Yeah, it's crazy.
His average he is still a four-seam guy, which is weird because his four-seam fastball has an average velocity of 89 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah.
His sinker is 89.9. Like why? Like it's very weird because he's been getting results on his fastball and his peripherals are good too. But like logistically, it seems like why wouldn't you be throwing your sinker more? It's very odd.
Yeah. That is very odd. I'm trying to look at Minnesota's rankings with starting pitchers.
Since April 14th, the same date that I used for the Marlins. Since then, their starting rotation is a 1.84 ERA with a 2.78 FIP.
Yeah, that's crazy. Overall in the year, they are second in ERA with a 2.39, and
My God, they also have. Go ahead.
I hate that. I just hate that when I click on ERA and FIP,
Mm-hmm.
that they go with the highest number first.
Yep.
It's frustrating.
You have to click that again. They do it for every single stat. It's like, nope, you're getting the high end first.
Yeah.
So we don't care about what's better, what you want. We're always going with who is the highest.
Exactly. They're ninth in FIP, but yeah, second in ERA with a 2.39.
Every time last year, I would like search through like starting pitcher FIP, and it's be like, oh, hey, Jordan Lyles, what's
Yeah.
up?
That's so accurate.
Every single time.
Yeah. But yeah, like Twins rotation is interesting. The team leads the division right now. They're 11-8, so it's not outstanding. It's the rest of the division is kind of crap the bed so far. But I think the rotation it will continue to be better than what people kind of expect, what the general public kind of expected. It won't be. They're not going to be second in the league in ERA, but there's a possibility of them being top 12, top 10.
Yeah, for sure. Bailey Ober, by the way, 0.92 home runs per nine. That was his weakness last year. Strikeouts you would want to be a little higher, but other than that, like 2.29 walks per nine, 283 BABIP against, relatively average.
Yeah, I mean,
you would definitely want more than a 21. Actually, I don't know. Maybe you do want a 21% ground ball rate in these times.
yeah,
It's
right.
like, you know what? Give up as many fly balls as possible right now.
Yeah,
All you
yeah.
can. Here's a home run to fly ball ratio of 6.1%.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like,
So his xFIP isn't affected that much.
yeah, that's true. That's
If
true.
it was last year, it's like, oh, dude, you are the worst pitcher in the league.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. XFIP took that personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Twins overperforming a little bit. And I don't know. Do we want to get into anything else? There's one thing in baseball social media I was like looking at yesterday, and I don't know if it's not really that much of a talking point, but it was the 10th anniversary of Bryce Harper's debut.
Yeah.
And like Bryce Harper's career is just so interesting to me because like there are many points you could say he was overrated. There was many points you could say he was underrated. I think currently he's still, I don't know. I think
this might be the most perfectly he's been rated in his career where he's at right now.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And it just reminds me that like he's on a Hall of Fame track. Is what he like. He's at over 40 B-WAR. And he's like had some pretty historic seasons. It's so like I don't know. It's weird. Like, are we celebrating his debut because it was such a big deal at the time, or is it because he is great now? And I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, I mean, if I could go into why I think he's the most perfectly rated he's ever been, like he's coming off of his second MVP season, but also there are so many other players that are at the place where he was at 10 years ago that get a lot more attention.
Yes.
Like Juan Soto finished second in the MVP, and I think Bryce Harper, like I think there's good reason to believe why he should have won it. I don't think there was any robbery there. Yeah. But I think Juan Soto gets more attention just because he's like at the same age that Bryce Harper was when he debuted.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and yeah, I think there's just it's not an anomaly that like, oh, a guy is 21 and is doing very good. Mm-hmm. Like it's
because there are so many of them right now.
Yeah, it's way less rare now than it was in the early 2010s. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's I don't know. I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It kind of shows like how far we've come, because when Harper debuted, it was like, oh my God, this guy, like,
he was on the SI cover at age 16.
Yeah. But and maybe he hasn't fulfilled it completely, but he's fulfilled it like 90%.
I think the only thing he has to do still is win the World Series.
Yes.
Which he had plenty of opportunities in Washington. Whatever stuff happens, you can't blame him for what's happened since he joined the Phillies.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, he literally won most valuable player. You can't do much more than that.
It's like, dude, I have done everything I can. I'm sorry that I can't pitch the ninth inning.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Luckily, it's not Hector Neris anymore.
How is the Phillies bullpen? I feel like we should just do an obligatory check-in.
Yeah, why not? Bryce Harper with the Phillies. 952 OPS with the Phillies in his career. His career OPS has definitely increased since joining them.
So the Phillies, their bullpen has 8.71 strikeouts per nine, 3.93 walks per nine, which isn't great, but it's also not the worst in the league or anywhere near it. 0.74 home runs per nine and a 284 BABIP. Where do you think their ERA is?
Ooh, 284 BABIP. So
I'll repeat the three others. 8.71 strikeouts per nine, 3.93 walks per nine, 0.74 home runs per nine, 284 BABIP.
11th.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about ranking. I was like, what is the ERA?
Oh, their ERA is 4.16.
Holy it's 4.17.
Oh my God.
No way. You were 0.1 off. It's 27th in the league, by the way.
Oh wow.
But their FIP is 383.
So I guess all the bullpens are doing pretty well because 417 seems like it should be average.
It's very funny because so the Royals are at 4.28. They're in 29th, and the Rockies are at 4.92. They had the best bullpen like a couple weeks ago. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. They were leading the league in bullpen ERA at like Easter weekend. What happened in the last 2 weeks?
To the Rockies?
Yeah.
Coors.
How many games have they even played at Coors? I feel like they've been on the road more than they've been home.
That's just my automatic answer.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely not wrong about that. Why did it just go to catchers? I was on bullpen.
Yeah, it's Yeah, we were talking about the Phillies bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, no surprises yet with the bullpen.
No.
So anyway,
hang on, I wanna find what happened to the Rockies in the last 2 weeks because that's crazy.
Right. I can pause it.
Is it on pause? So since April 16th, the Rockies bullpen has pitched 40 innings. They have a 3.56 BABIP against.
Oof.
Yeah. And also 5.19 walks per nine. 5.18, sorry. Shout out to Albany, New York, 5.18. They have an 8.10 ERA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, 8.10 ERA.
That's miserable.
In maybe a couple weeks.
Just less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just to give Daniel Bard is not the problem. He's pitched 3 innings since then. 12 strikeouts per 9, no earned runs, no walks, no home runs, 167 BABIP against. The big issues have been Austin Gondo, who's pitched 4 innings, has a 9 ERA, 2.25 home runs per 9. Lucas Gilbreth, Ty Block, who's a Denver native. Yolis Chassin, who is just eternally with the Rockies, even when he's not with the Rockies.
Yes, he is.
People forget he was literally a playoff ace like 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
3.5 years ago at this point. Yeah, that's kind of it. Rockies bullpen, quite a fall from grace over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, has been for sure. Do we want to get into players to highlight?
Yeah.
So now it's time for players to highlight, where we will be talking about, players to highlight for good reasons and bad reasons. We'll start off with the good with our Friday, April 29th, 2022 edition of... Who do you got for us today?
So my how about that is a guy that, as actually mentioned earlier in the show, I know that you're very high on him. It's his breakout's real. It's Taylor Ward. It's everyone's favorite Angels player that is leading the league in weighted runs created plus currently.
Yeah.
He is slashing 381, 509, 762, 1271 in his last 12 games. In fact, he's only played 12 games. He has 53 plate appearances, and he has that slash line of at least 361 players with at least 20 plate appearances. Mind you, he has 53. Taylor Ward's 269 weighted runs created plus leads the majors. He is also one of just 12 players in Major League Baseball to have 50 plate appearances and more walks than strikeouts. He has a 20.8% walk rate and a 17% strikeout rate. That 20.8% walk rate is tied for 5th in the majors this year. And coming into this year, he had never had a fly ball rate above 30, and this year it's at 33%, and it's paying off because when he hits fly balls, he is batting .467. He has a 1,400 slugging percentage for an 1867 OPS, and his 459 weighted runs created plus on fly balls is 3rd amongst all batters with 10 plus plate appearances that ended on fly balls, of which there were 262. So the Taylor Ward breakout is real, folks.
All right, Taylor Ward. Yeah, he's I mean, it's happening currently, and we'll see it as it moves on.
You hate me for that pick.
No, it's fine. I don't know. It's just, there's a question mark.
There is a question mark.
It just, I just didn't like how Jeff Passan phrased it. Like
No, you're absolutely right.
The
You're
Taylor
absolutely
Ward.
right.
Like we've all been waiting. The same way we were waiting for
Shohei Ohtani to finally pitch and hit
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah.
It's like Taylor Ward, eventually he's going to get to that 1,200 OPS season.
Yes. We were all waiting for it. Yeah. So after not having a strikeout minus walk rate eclipse 6%, Kyle Wright's strikeout minus walk rate is over 30%.
Yes, it is.
Kyle Wright.
That's a breakout we were waiting for.
Yeah, so he was just kind of a punchline for me for the past few years. Like, if the Braves had to start Kyle Wright, I was like, Kyle Wright, that's a loss.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's poisoned by Game 3 of the NLCS in 2020.
Yeah, when...
How 2020 was that start?
It was so 2020.
You know, it was the opposite because it was like a good start. Because the 2020 had a good start. It was like, all right, January and February, completely normal months.
Yeah.
But then once he got to the third inning, man, like he didn't even wait.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the Dodgers ended up scoring 15 runs in that game.
I think like 11 in that inning, including a grand slam.
Yeah, by what, Max Muncy?
Yeah, I don't even think there was 2 outs.
So yeah, Kyle Wright, as I mentioned, he did not have a strikeout minus walk rate eclipse 6%. Now it's over 30%. This has helped him to a 1.13 ERA, a 1.36 FIP, and a 1.95 expected ERA. Out of 61 qualifiers, Wright's ERA ranks 4th and his FIP ranks 3rd.
Amazing.
And by the way, also, if you're wondering what these statistics are, we have a whole episode about breaking down baseball statistics, episode 169, breaking down the simple ones to the advanced ones. If you're wondering what these statistics are, but anyway, he's throwing the ball in the zone more than he ever has, with his zone percentage being 5.9 percentage points higher than his previous high. And when he is not throwing it in the zone, his chase rate is the highest it's ever been by 7.2 percentage points. His whiff rate is also a career high. And also with Kyle Wright's increase in basically everything, he has a career high average pitch velocities in his four-seam fastball, sinker, curveball, and slider. Along with that, his curveball usage has increased greatly to 33.6%. It is the pitch he has used most all season. It had never been like that in a season before. And he has already thrown more curveballs. He's already thrown the most curveballs he ever has in any season. So his usage has gone up like crazy. And it has been working for him. His curveball has a 40.6% whiff rate against it and a 121 slugging percentage off of it. And along with that, he has a career ground ball rate. I forgot to I was writing this down, and I remember it was 52 point something percent. So whatever, 52 point something percent. His ground ball rate is a considerable amount above average now, and it never really was. It was always in the low to mid 40s. And his sinker has an average launch angle of negative 18 against it. So, excuse me. So whether it's getting more ground balls or all of his pitches getting higher velocities or his chase rate going up, his strike percentage and balls in the zone percentage going up, his first pitch strike rate is at a career high. Everything is getting better for Kyle Wright by a considerable amount, and yeah, he's turned into a great pitcher in these first 4 starts of the season. So, Kyle Wright.
We have some breaking news.
Okay.
This coming in from Jeff Passan 2 minutes ago. I feel like we'll just report here, and if there's anything else to say, we'll save it. Los Angeles Dodgers starter Trevor Bauer has received a 2-year suspension from Major League Baseball.
Wow.
2 years. Yes.
That's crazy.
That is. I wonder if that means the rest of his Dodgers contract is terminated.
I guess, yeah.
Because it was going to be another 2 years. But MLB is setting a precedent. I guess that's the quickest takeaway. Like I said, I don't want to really analyze right now. I feel like this is something that we should kind of just sit on.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lengthy suspension for Trevor Bauer, who last June was charged with sexual assault. Or not.
Charged
I don't know. I don't know if it was
accused.
charged. Accused. Yes. Charges were pressed. That's how I meant to interpret it. Yeah, he was yes, he was accused of sexual assault. Last June. He's had an administrative leave that has been kind of pushed back week in and week out for the last year and a half, and
like
we now
10
have
months.
we now have an answer.
Yeah, of what his future is going to pertain, and I guess it's
Yes.
without pay, so he's going to lose out on a good like $30 million this year,
Yeah.
and then $15 million next year, I think, because of how weird that contract was. Yeah, very interesting, especially considering he he didn't get punished by the state, so
Yeah.
he got punished by Major League Baseball.
Yes. How happy are the Dodgers that they don't have to make this decision now?
Yeah, that's a very true analysis for sure.
Yeah. I think that's all we'll have to say. But yeah, I think we'll leave that as is, and we can get into the next segment.
Yeah, for sure. So now we go from the highs to the lows, I guess, with that new, like, I don't know. For Bauer, it's a low.
Yes.
But the highs to the lows with players or subjects that are underperforming, subjects can be a team or a team's offense or pitching or bullpen or starters. Players or subjects are underperforming with our Friday, April 29th, 2022 edition of
Slightly alarming.
Who do you got for us today?
My slightly alarming, by the way, Trevor Bauer says he's appealing.
Yeah.
I think, no doubt, I don't think that's really much news. I think that was pretty guaranteed. Anyway, my slightly alarming is a guy who, I don't really know how to introduce him. I'm just going to say him. It's Colton Wong. And you might be saying, but Daniel, how can you talk about Colton Wong on Slightly Alarming? He leads the league in triples. I mean, how can you do this? Well, I'll tell you. Colton Wong is slashing 209, 250, 299 with a 58 weighted runs created plus. Now, that doesn't sound like it's awful. I mean, it's not good, but I mean, there are definitely worse guys out there at this point in the season.
Yeah.
But Colton Wong's average launch angle is 18.6 degrees.
Yeah.
His career high is 12.8, which was last year. He is hitting more fly balls than ever, and his fly balls have an average exit velocity of 86.9 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That is never going to get it done.
Yeah. No.
Unless it's like a bloop. But even then, he's a lefty, so he's probably getting shifted, so he's probably got to bloop it the other way, which is pretty difficult.
Yes.
Point is, he has hit 20 fly balls this season. He is over 20. And he is also one of...
Oh, God.
Yes. Yes.
Was this the stat that you were like, like you were laughing?
Nope. That was different.
That is something.
Yeah. Yeah, over 20.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was going to get that much of a reaction.
I like the fact that he is hitting a career high in fly balls and none of them are landing for hits.
I mean, it makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you're hitting weak fly balls, like, why would they? Like, it's major league defense.
Yeah, I'm guessing he has no home runs.
No.
Okay.
He is also one of 5 qualifiers to not have a barrel yet.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't realize you were going to find that so funny.
Yeah. I don't know. It just surprised. I feel like, 20 fly balls, one might go for a homer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Is there some more news going on?
I mean, yeah, well, Jeff Passan said in Bauer's appeal, in every previous case in which a player was suspended under this policy, there was an agreed upon number of games, and clearly Bauer did not agree to this.
Right. Okay.
If I'm willing to take a guess, I'd say he probably was not asking for any suspension at all.
Yeah.
I would say his proposal was 0 games, but who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
He actually put out a tweet. He said, In the strongest possible terms, I deny committing any violation of the league's domestic violence and sexual assault policy. I am appealing this action and expect to prevail, as we have throughout this process. My representatives and I feel confidently of the proceedings. So yes, there's that.
Yep.
And of course, there's a now. The top reply is half of that and then half of the Tom Brenneman call.
Yes. Perfect. Baseball Twitter. Yeah, it's getting better.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there more Colton Wong stuff?
No, that's it. 0 for 20 on fly balls.
0 for 20 on fly balls, and he's hitting more than ever. Colton Wong.
Slightly alarming.
All right, my slightly alarming. It's kind of funny how about that and slightly alarming, worked out. But so my how about that was Brave starting pitcher Kyle Wright, and my slightly alarming is Brave starting pitcher Charlie Morton, who in 4 starts.
Now I know why you randomly before the show were like, "Oh, his birthday's the day after mine."
I thought that was gonna give it away. I totally blanked out.
I didn't even think about like why are you searching Charlie Morton, who has a negative .2 FWAR.
Yeah, so in 4 starts, Charlie Morton has a 7.00 ERA and 6.3 expected ERA and 5.73 FIP. Out of 114 pitchers with 15-plus innings pitched this year, his ERA and FIP are both 6th worst. His expected ERA is also in the 10th percentile in all of baseball. His strikeout minus walk rate is below 5% right now after being above 20% last year. His strikeout rate has taken a major dive, and his walk rate has had a major rise. Along with that, in terms of just quality of contact, last year's hitters were hitting 127 off his curveball, and this year they are hitting 333 off his curveball. That's his best pitch, and they're hitting 333 off of it. Also last year, hitters were slugging only 355 off his four-seamer. However, this year they are slugging 607 off of it with a 683 expected slugging off of it. So they're getting unlucky with the 607 slugging percentage off that four-seam fastball.
Mm-hmm.
And his whiff rate is down 8.2 percentage points from last year, and his chase rate is down 7.4 percentage points from last year. His year-to-year change in chase rate is 33rd worst out of 245 qualifiers, which is bottom 14%. And his year-to-year change in whiff rate is 20th worst out of 245 qualifiers, which is bottom 9%. So Charlie Morton is
Slightly alarming.
Yeah. If you want any encouragement, Charlie Morton also had a 5.08 ERA and a 4.12 FIP through his first 8 starts of last year.
Yeah,
and obviously he
that
did
is
pick
true.
it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the fastball stuff is definitely concerning.
Yeah, it's not great, but yeah, it does serve as a good reminder that he ended the year extremely strong last year and carried it pretty well into the playoffs. But yeah, that'll do it for players to highlight. Now we get into a preview of the weekend ahead.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to be talking about some series to watch. Daniel will be talking about some day-by-day pitching matchups to look after. So in terms of series to watch, so back-to-back weekends, it appears the Blue Jays and Astros are facing off, which it's a shame that these series are happening in April.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two. In terms of how I forecasted the season, I would say those are two of the top at least 4 teams in my American League, and this is their last matchup of the year, unfortunately. But yeah, that'll be taking place in Toronto. Toronto's been doing considerably well. Astros have picked it up in the last series or what have you, and I don't know. Is that the only series to really look forward to? There is, maybe you could watch, Mets Phillies. I feel like that's always interesting, and I guess the dynamic of each team being hit a good amount the last time they faced off. That could be interesting as well. And definitely a good pitching matchup Friday with that. And maybe taking a look Sunday if there's a good pitching matchup as well. It's going to be Sunday Night Baseball. Mets, Phillies, of course. Definitely wouldn't be Blue Jays or Astros. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's frustrating. I feel like Mets, Phillies are Sunday Night Baseball like all 6 times they face each other.
Same. It's like Red Sox, Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Dodgers, Padres, and that's it.
Yeah. I just don't have that much of an interest in the combination of the two teams. All right. What do you got for the day-by-day matchups?
All right, so on Friday, which is today, Yu Darvish will be facing the Pirates in the series, I believe, opener of Padres and Pirates at PNC. It is Brash Day. Matt Brash will be in Miami taking on Eliza Hernandez. I feel like every week we should just highlight the weird matchups that are happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mariners, Marlins, and Tigers, Dodgers.
Yep, yeah.
Because we haven't really had them in the ARR era / STBNL era.
That's true. Yeah.
You will have Dylan Bundy facing the Rays. We mentioned him earlier in the show. Aaron Nola versus Tyler McGill is a good one in Mets Phillies. Noah Syndergaard versus Lucas Giolito is a very good one in Angels White Sox. Obviously, Noah Syndergaard's strikeout rate is something to watch for. Ian Anderson will be facing the Braves Rangers is another weird one.
Yes.
Braves, I didn't even see that. Braves Rangers, Ian Anderson will be facing Garrett Richards. Nestor Cortez will be going off.
It's funny to think the Braves played in front of a Globe Life crowd before the Rangers.
Yes, so did the Dodgers, so did the Rays. Well, Corey Seager had the third most home runs in that stadium coming into this year.
Yeah.
Nestor Cortez will be pitching for the Yankees tonight against the Royals. That's a guy to watch for sure. It's Green Day for the Reds, of course.
Oh.
Against the Rockies. He's going to be facing off at Coors against Antonio Senzatella. Frankie Montas will be pitching for Oakland in the Coliseum against the Guardians. And, oh my God. We have... hold on. Okay, I got to save that for matchup of the night. Wow, that's beautiful. Alex Wood will be facing the Giants. Or will be facing the Nationals for the Giants. The Nationals have lost 8 straight. I was going to put this as matchup of the night, but then I found a different one. We have a 2014 classic in Diamondbacks Cardinals. Madison Bumgarner versus Adam Wainwright.
That is a 2014 classic.
Undoubtedly, the matchup of the night comes from Tigers Dodgers. Folks, we have Tyler Alexander versus Tyler Anderson.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah, that's just they're both lefties. There's no other choice.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, and
I really wanted to preface the matchup of the night by saying we got a 2014 classic, but I can't miss that opportunity because when are Tyler Alexander and Tyler Anderson going to face each other again? Literally never.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
In Diamondbacks Cardinals the second day, Merrill Kelly's been doing pretty well this season. I don't know if you've seen that, but he's been interesting. You have Logan Webb facing the Giants, facing the Nationals for the Giants. Jose Suarez versus Vince Velasquez in Angels and White Sox. Shane Bieber will be going for the Guardians against the A's. I'll save that for matchup of the night. Sean Manaea will be going for the Padres against the Pirates. Nathan Eovaldi will be facing the Orioles for the Red Sox. Kyle Gibson versus Taijuan Walker will be the matchup in Phillies Mets. Garrett Cole will be facing the Royals for the Yankees. The Yankees have been doing very well. 6 straight wins, I think. Chad Kuhl will be facing the Reds for the Rockies. Chad Kuhl has been one of the breakout pitchers so far this month. He's been interesting. Clayton Kershaw will be facing the Tigers, and the matchup of the night comes from Mariners and Marlins. Robbie Ray versus Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, a couple lefties.
More that will never face each other again.
Yes,
they probably have long-term futures with their teams.
Yeah, that's very true. And then Sunday,
not a lot of stuff is announced. I might save this for a low-key matchup of the night. Actually, no, that's matchup of the night. or of the day. It's Sunday. Joe Musgrove versus Mitch Keller in Padres and Pirates to finish off that series. Logan Gilbert versus Sandy Alcantara, another very good one in Mariners Marlins.
Yeah.
Michael
for sure.
Lorenzen has been pretty good for the Angels. He'll be going off against Dallas Keuchel. Luis Severino will be pitching for the Yankees against the Royals. Marcus Stroman, Corbin Burns in the finale of Cubs Brewers
That's some
in
good
Milwaukee.
ones on Sunday.
Yeah. Wow. two entirely different pitchers. Zach Davies versus Jordan Hicks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Talk about two guys. Newly extended Kyle Freeland will be going for the Rockies against the Reds. Tristan McKenzie will be facing the A's for the Guardians. Eduardo Rodriguez versus Walker Buehler in Tigers-Dodgers. Zach Eflin versus Max Scherzer on Sunday night. Match of the day comes from the finale of Astros-Blue Jays. Framber Valdez versus Kevin Gausman.
Yeah. And for that to be matchup of the day on a day like that, just has a very good matchup for sure. We hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to follow us on social media, follow me on Twitter at Chris_Gianta and follow Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran, and follow the show Instagram at Above Replacement Radio for all the show needs. We hope you enjoyed this one, and we hope to see you next time, probably sometime early next week, where we will be, I don't know, maybe we'll be discussing the happenings in Major League Baseball once again, or maybe we'll be doing something else. We don't know.
Who knows?
We'll report back to you, and we will see you then.
This conversation is over.